The Legend of Zelda, one of Nintendo's most popular series, featuring the title Princess Zelda. Oh, that's not Zelda. That's better. So with about 13 versions of the princess, spanning over 39 years, it's only natural to ask the question, which Zelda is the best Zelda? Now, as I said, there are about 13 versions, but I feel like when we think about the princess, the 3D versions are the only ones that really stick out both physically and personality-wise. Get it? Physically, because they're 3D? So today, I will be ranking all the 3D Princess Zeldas based on the following criteria. Number 1. Her design or style in the game. Zelda has some amazing designs and outfits in the series, and I feel like these should be taken into account. The way she looks in dresses definitely adds to her memorability, even if it is a bit subconscious. Number 2. The story of the game she appears in and how she contributes to it. How she interacts with Link and other characters is important in driving the story forward. Her actions and their consequences also deserve to be recognized. Number 3. Her personality. Arguably the most important part of this whole ranking. What makes Princess Zelda in a lot of these games is her personality. Her determination, kindness, perseverance, and everything else in between. It's ultimately the reason we find ourselves drawn to specific versions of her. And finally, number 4. Overall vibes. Whatever that means. This is just a filler category where I spout some BS to either raise or lower the score. Now with that out of the way, let's jump into the ranking. Coming in at number 5, it's Twilight Princess Zelda. Yes, I love Twilight Princess and Zelda in this game. She has such a mature and regal feel, but sadly, someone has to be last. Taking a look at her style, the first thing we have to mention is the brown hair. Brown-haired Zelda in a Zelda game is the ultimate rare Pokemon. It's so cute and makes her feel a bit more warm, I guess. Blonde Zelda is iconic, but brunette Zelda is just chef's kiss. Not to mention the purple dress combo that has this kind of je ne sais quoi. The colors flow really nicely together, they all feel very cohesive and nothing really stands out too much aside from the purple. I especially love her little loincloth thingy. I don't know what the proper name for this is, but I love how it looks like the sky and the earth. The blue in the sky matches the jewels she's decorated with, and it's a small detail I think really pulls everything together. Her main weapon in the game is a sword. It's long and skinny and matches her outfit to a T, and again complements the mature and regal theme I talked about earlier. The story of Twilight Princess follows Link on his quest to save his friends, but along the way we find out more about the source of evil, and that similar and even more heinous attacks have been going on all over Hyrule. We get a lot of this background during our encounters with Princess Zelda, where she tells us of the story of how Hyrule became shrouded in twilight and her vow to protect her people. Throughout the game, Zelda offers guidance and wisdom, but it all comes to a head when she ultimately gives up her life to save your companion Midna. Except she kind of doesn't, because she also appears at the end of the game to help Link out by using her light arrows to defeat Ganon. So Princess Zelda has a pretty tame personality in this game. She's extremely inoffensive, as she really just serves as someone to seek information and advice from. She'll gently nudge Link and Midna in the right direction, but that's pretty much it for the entire game. Again, she has a very noble and dignified demeanor. She stuck to her word the entire game, showing how selfless she is, and that she will always do right by her people. Overall, I really like this Zelda. She doesn't get a bunch of screen time or character development, but she's still a decent Zelda. What else can I say? Number 4. Ocarina of Time Zelda. This is probably the most iconic version of Zelda, and who I think of when anyone mentions her. Now, when it comes to the design, we have two to look at, as there are some differences between child and adult Zelda. But overall, they pretty much have the same purplish pink color scheme that was established by the previous Zelda. None of the designs really reinvent the wheel, but instead enhance it. Child Zelda is pretty covered from head to toe, wearing a head covering and a blue long-sleeve shirt underneath her dress. The vibe this outfit gives me is princess in training. Like, she's a kid so she's not given the full princess attire, but she's still a princess so it's still very elegant. Adult Zelda looks very regal, and this change in outfit also denotes her growth physically and mentally. She's now dripped out in gold, sporting gold shoulder pads or armor, earrings, and a tiara. Her loincloth is also a step up from her past one. The crest is more complicated, adorned with more designs and a bigger Triforce, which also shows her growth in power. The story of Ocarina of Time follows Link and his quest to travel forward and backwards in time to defeat the evil Ganondorf, saving all of Hyrule in the process. The princess has two main roles in this game, one being a guide for our main character, and the other, well, being a princess. Throughout the game, Zelda offers Link advice as to what he should do next. First as a child when we stumble into the Hyrule Castle courtyard, and the other times when Zelda takes the form of Sheik. Spoiler alert, yes, Zelda is Sheik, a mysterious person claiming to be the last of the Sheikahs. Sheik randomly appears throughout the story, breadcrumbing Link into completing different tasks until he is able to gain access to Ganon's castle and defeat him. Zelda's personality depends on which version you're speaking to. The Zelda with the most personality in this game is definitely Child Zelda. She's pretty upbeat and expressive with her emotions, and I guess the way she acts is pretty on brand for a young girl. Sheik is quite the opposite, however. They really don't say more than they have to, and even when they do speak, it feels very formal. I'm not sure how to best describe it, but it feels like every time Link would take a step forward, Sheik was already taking 2 steps back. You could never get too close, which I guess makes sense since Zelda was undercover. However, once the jig was up and Zelda returned to her true princess form, she also returned to her normal princess personality as well. She was very determined and gracious, but this personality doesn't feel too different from the others. Overall, I really do like this version of Zelda, especially when she's a child or undercover as Sheik. I remember playing this game for the first time and being shocked that Sheik was actually Zelda the whole time. Not just because I thought Sheik was a man, but also because of how different they felt compared to the princess herself. This also just shows how far this version of Zelda is willing to go in order to protect what she believes in. Number 3. Wind Waker Zelda. Ah yes, the game that features my favorite pirate princess. Within this game, there are also 2 versions of Zelda. There's Tetra and your standard Princess Zelda. We'll get into the difference between them in a minute, but first let's take a look at the outfits. Tetra is a pirate, and yeah, she looks like one. Her hair is up in a curl, likely because of the work she does. She has tan skin, likely from spending time in the sun, and her clothes are, well, clothes. They're pretty boring in terms of design. It's a shirt, shorts, scarf, and sandals. What more can I say? Moving on to Princess Zelda, however, things get a bit more interesting. Princess Zelda looks more like the past Zeldas, following the pinkish purple and blue theme, but with a little bit of Tetra still peeking through, mainly in her hairstyle. These little lightning bolt sideburns on both versions are extremely cute. Speaking of hair, I'm not sure what these little white hair clip things are, but I really like them as well. They add a bit more uniqueness to the design and her silhouette, making this Zelda a lot more identifiable. Also, +1 for the blue eyeshadow. The story of the Wind Waker follows Link on his journey to save his sister from Ganondorf and his pet bird. Along the way he meets Tetra, and the two team up to sail the seas and defeat the evil lurking in the waters. Throughout the game, Tetra takes the role of a mentor. She shows him the ropes for a pirate life, and also gives him some direction on where to go and what to do next. Now, I will say Tetra's motives are a bit vague. Like, yeah, I guess a pirate searching for treasure makes sense, but it kind of feels like a hollow motive. However, this changes about halfway through, when it is revealed that Tetra is actually Princess Zelda. What? Yeah, Zelda now helps Link from the sidelines, and even steps up during the final fight with Ganondorf. Now, personality-wise, Tetra is definitely the better of the two. Tetra has a ton of personality and grit. She seems a bit hardened and bossy at first, but once you get to know her, this abrasive mask starts to fall. You can tell she's actually a kind and caring person and has a soft spot for everyone she lets on her ship. This balance between a hard and soft exterior is exactly what makes her so lovable in my opinion. However, once her destiny is revealed, this is where things start to go downhill. For some reason, once she realizes her fate, she changes not only her appearance, but also the way she acts. She now falls into the standard Princess Zelda trope of your typical sweet and kind princess. No more snarky comments or sarcasm. I really wish elements of Tetra's personality were kept, but sadly from this point on, Tetra is no more. Overall, this Zelda is one I think people would be very fond of. The game in general feels very homey, and I feel like this extends to the characters. This is especially true for Zelda in her Tetra form. Tetra is super spunky and has a bit of an edge, but she's also pretty nice and caring as well. You know, when she's not actively launching you from a catapult, of course. Number 2. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Zelda. I'm not sure if this is shocking based on my previous videos, but terrible accent aside, this version of Zelda is cool with me. Style-wise, we'll talk about the main blue outfit in Breath of the Wild, and the white and green dress from Tears of the Kingdom. There's actually quite a few outfits Zelda wears throughout both games, but those are the main two that come to my mind. Starting off with the blue one, there's two versions of this, the princess version, and the more casual out in the field outfit. Both of them have similar styles and follow the same design, but I feel like the dress version is a bit busy. There's a lot going on between the crop top and the white underdress that makes her look like she has abs. Aside from that, I like the color scheme and how it matches Link's main outfit. It's a nice departure from the standard pink and purple Zelda fits we've seen in the past. Moving on to Tears of the Kingdom, I love this design. I think short-haired Zelda is super cute. The outfit is also super adorable and feels very earthy. Her earrings as well are just, ugh, chef's kiss. Nintendo was really cooking when it came to this design. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details of both stories, as this would make the video super long, but both stories follow a similar fashion. In Breath of the Wild, we join Link on his quest to revive the Divine Beasts, which will help to defeat Calamity Ganon, and in Tears of the Kingdom, we follow Link and his new arm in gathering all the sages which will help to defeat Ganondorf. You see? A ton of similarities. Zelda is very proactive in both games, taking matters into her own hands twice. In Breath of the Wild, Zelda holds down the fort, fighting off Ganon for 100 years, while Link recovers from his injuries, and in Tears of the Kingdom, she sacrifices her human form to become the Light Dragon. This transformation ultimately helps Link to restore the previously damaged Master Sword and defeat Ganondorf, with Zelda's help of course, once and for all. Zelda is extremely selfless in both games, even though at the beginning of Breath of the Wild, she really wasn't too crazy about fulfilling her destiny. This Zelda definitely had the most interesting character development. She goes from your typical princess to someone that really had to work hard, learn, and grow to reach fierce leader status. Granted, it is easy to miss some of this development, as it is hidden in the memories you have to find, or stated in her diary. Zelda likes to spend her time building robots, but since she is a princess, she has to learn how to properly use her powers. That being said, this doesn't come easy to her, and she's kind of upset about it, especially since it seems to come easy to others, such as Link. And trust me, my girl was not happy about this. The immense pressure takes a toll on her, and I think it's incredibly interesting for Zelda to have some noticeable struggles. I feel like in the past, Zelda seemed perfect and easygoing, but that is not the case in this game. Zelda had to work to get to where she is, and these complex emotions were explored throughout the game. Overall, I really like Zelda in these games. She's a strong leader and really earned that title. I think she's one of the most developed Zeldas we've ever seen in the series so far, and I hope the future games give her the character development she deserves. Just hopefully it's in real time next time. And finally, number 1, Skyward Sword Zelda. If you've seen my videos, then this shouldn't be that much of a surprise. I've glazed this game so much in the past for having good characters, and of course that extends to Princess Zelda. Throughout the game, this Zelda has two main looks. The first is her Skyloft fit. It's a long pink dress with two belts, one made of gold and the other made of some sort of soft brown material. I mean, it's probably leather, with the Hylian crest on it. This version of Zelda isn't royal, but I like how the crest was still included. She also wears these cool ribbons in her hair, and a shawl. This shawl actually happens to be the sailcloth you use throughout the game, and Zelda made it for you especially. The second outfit is the one she spends the most time in. It reflects her first outfit in terms of the style of dress, the bracelets, and the hair accessories. I think this game also started the whole white dress Zelda theme, and I have to say I'm very thankful for that. I also have to point out the blue, purple, holographic hair accessories. I think this design is so cute and reflects the Gate of Time, which is an important object in the game. Skyward Sword follows Link on his journey from the clouds to the surface to save his childhood best friend, Zelda. One day when Link and Zelda were out on an afternoon flight, Zelda was knocked off her bird and swallowed by a black tornado. Once on the surface, Zelda meets her guardian Impa, learns of her destiny of following the path of the goddess Hylia, and plays her role accordingly. Going back in time, Zelda sacrifices herself by entering a deep sleep to seal away the evil entity known as Demise. This act of selflessness buys Link time to gather the Triforce, go back in time to defeat Demise, and wake Zelda from her slumber. Personality-wise, no other Zelda compares. This Zelda is super sweet and kind, but she's also not afraid to throw in a little playful jab here and there. She gives girl next door energy, and I mean, she kind of is the girl next door, like, literally. As I said earlier, she's not a princess in this game, so this might be why she's extremely outgoing and free-spirited, more so than usual. Although her father still does hold high power, as the head of the school everyone attends, making her, I guess, somewhat powerful. I love how kind and supportive she is towards Link, but she's also not afraid to put her foot down and tell him how she really feels if need be. She sticks up for him when necessary, and always has his back no matter what. And honestly, what more can you ask for in a friend? Overall, this is definitely my favorite version of Zelda. She's so cute and upbeat, and I genuinely cared for her by the end of the game. This is the only Zelda I truly felt an urge to rescue. Nintendo really cooked with her. So, there it is. Skyward Sword is the best Zelda. At least in my opinion. I tried to be unbiased during this ranking, but I don't think that's 100% possible. That being said, I loved all the Zeldas mentioned in this video. Let me know which one is your favorite and why. Leave your ranking in the comments below. As always, my name is Andy, and I hope to see you in the next video.